Hi guys, how's it going? Happy Tuesday. I hope you're doing well. Wow, the full moon in Libra. It kicked in so hard. Let me know how you experienced it. I really felt that. But I have good news for you today because we're gonna see an end finally after 5 months of this retrograde marathon. All the planets are finally direct. And okay, Venus is still waking up, Mercury is slowly getting back started, but good news. So Mars is going to jump into Leo on the 18th of this month. So yeah, 5 freaking months of Mars going retrograde, then going direct on the 24th of February in the sign of Cancer. Started as retrograde in Leo, then jumped back to Cancer, and now it's gonna wrap up its shadow zone and it's gonna jump back into Leo in a couple of days. But yeah, Venus is still getting out of shadow, Mercury still getting out of shadow, and Mercury leaves shadow on April the 26th. Venus will leave her shadow on May 16th. And yeah, the middle of May will be like very, very spectacular because all the planets are direct. Middle of May, everything comes out of shadow. So then it will be like a great, great time to launch something, to buy, to sell, to maybe make a big announcement, have an important conversation. It's like the universe is finally giving us this green light, but especially in the middle of May. So yes, all the planets go back direct now, and the middle of May will be very fantastic to finally push things forward again. So if you want to change a job or launch a business, tell someone you love them, it's going to be perfect to do that in the middle of May. But first, we need to go through some final hiccup, I would call it, because we're going to see the final Mars-Pluto opposition, which is going to be extremely intense, and we're going to see that happening already this weekend up until like the beginning of May. We saw this Mars-Pluto opposition for 2 times already. The first time was in the beginning of November with the US election, and then the second time was at the beginning of January when there were like a lot of intense happenings going on as well. But I will make a whole other video about Mars-Pluto opposition because there's just so much to go over about. But just know, as soon as Mars is gonna come into Leo, it's gonna get challenged right off the bat because of its opposition to Pluto. So Mars is conflict, Pluto is destruction. Just know when they opposite, it's like a very volatile, very intense kind of energy that's going to come forward, and it's going to last. We're already in that right now. We're already feeling like the intensity is rising right now, but especially the last 10 days of April will be rather intense, and we're going to feel it throughout the middle of May. That's why I said like the middle of May will be better to have this new forward momentum. And then on the 4th of May, Pluto will go retrograde, but like apart from Pluto, every planet is going to be direct until the end of June, beginning of July. Because in July, Neptune and Saturn will start its retrograde, and in August, we're going to see the Mercury retrograde starting to kick in as well. So April through early July is like a big action window. So really, really use it wisely. And we're going to start by looking at all the Mars and Leo threads, because it can get a little bit feisty. I'm not gonna lie, but like we had this Mars in Cancer and such an emotional, reactive place for such a long time, and I think a lot of people will be very happy because we're gonna see a fire planet in a fire sign. So yeah, oh my god, I'm happy. Like I have been waiting for this. I'm not gonna lie. So Mars stationed retrograde at 6 degrees of Leo, and that happened on December the 6th. It retrograded back into Cancer on January the 6th, and then it stationed direct at 17 degrees of Cancer on February the 24th, and it's gonna leave its shadow phase on May the 2nd. So yeah, Mars spent months and months in Cancer. Cancer is ruled by the moon, and it started its retrograde in Leo, and Leo is ruled by the sun. So these are like the two luminary signs, and each is like representing deep identity types. So it's like our core identity. Our sun is our shining, our ego, and our moon is our feelings, our emotions, and like the flow of that. And it got rather challenged the last few months. So Leo now is like individual authenticity, and it's also self-expression. Cancer was more emotional protection, the home, the family, and the homeland. Like Mars was debilitated in Cancer, it did not like to be there. So it was very much driven by emotional frustration and irritation, especially in like the home of political sphere and the homeland. Like a lot of people felt like their home or their nation was under threat or under some kind of attack. You could have felt a little bit more easily triggered in your territory, and like there could have been anger around identity, domestic security, and like having the need to defend yourself. That was like the top, the key themes of this retrograde. So but now looking at the sign of Leo, that will be like a lot more fun. Leo is the sign of fun. So who will get like most influenced by this? Of course, all the fixed signs. And that's Leo, Taurus, Aquarius, but also Scorpio. And especially Scorpio, because you're like one of the fixed signs, but Mars is also your chart ruler. And also important for Aries, because Mars is, of course, your planet. And if it switches back into the sign of Leo, we're going to see like this passionate and fiery drive. Mars in Leo, it doesn't do lukewarm, it's very hot. So another important fact is that Leo is about natural leadership. It is also the performer. So yeah, people who have like a natal Mars in Leo, they are born to lead. And sometimes this overall energy that we're all gonna partake in is like born to lead and steal the spotlight. Mars in Leo, it's like a very initiative going, and it thrives when it gets seen. It wants to be respected. It wants to be admired. There's like a very, very follow me energy, and that can be very, very magnetic as well. And sometimes it can get a little bit bossy. So yeah, expect a lot more bold, brave, and dramatic energy that's gonna rise now. Mars in Leo loves a grand entrance. It hates being ignored. And oh boy, like if you're gonna ignore some kind of people now, they can be very, very feel challenged when they feel ignored. Like Leo is like the spotlight, and it wants admiration. So another important factor is it's going to be very creative, very charismatic. Mars in Leo, it really acts with a lot of flair. It can be channeled into arts, into performance, into romance, and like anything that's like involving showing off your unique brilliance. So think about dancers, athletes, actors, fashion queens. This is all part of Mars in Leo. So Leo is, of course, also the sign of leadership. So think about leaders on the world stage, think about rich people, think about celebrities. That is also all part of the Leo sign. Then on the romantic level, Mars is going to infuse so much passion, so much desire into Leo, the sign of romance. So it can be a very romantic, very flirtatious kind of vibe. And Mars in Leo is really like the ride or die in love. It can be very affectionate, very generous, but do not test their pride, because Mars in Leo can also get a little bit ego-driven, especially when they're like unbalanced. So watch out for arrogance, watch out for stubbornness, and also watch out for like drama for attention, because when the ego gets bruised, this energy tends to come off as well. And Mars in Leo, it can like roar louder than really necessary. So keep that in mind. Before I dive into the chart of this Mars in Leo, I want to quickly look at this chart, because Yeah, this is like intense. Mars is opposite Pluto and it's squaring the Sun as we speak. Today we're the 15th. This is a chart of the 17th, the 18th, but we will feel it for a couple of days for sure. And Mars square the Sun is always a time when there's more conflict, when there's more fights. The opposition to Pluto makes it so much more intense. So I'm gonna go over this very quick because it can also intensify war-related tensions, especially in regards to water, like sitting submarines or naval conflicts. Mars is at 29 critical energetic degree. Something needs to shake. Yeah, 29 is like getting shaken. It's like the most energy injected into a planet because it's the highest degree in a sign. So it can be very, very crisis oriented as well. And the fact that it makes an opposition with Pluto, if we look back at November and the 6th of January, that like coincided with very, very strange plane crashes because back then asteroid Icarus was conjunct Pluto and was part of the opposition. And asteroid Icarus is like symbolizing falling from the sky. It went up too high. It melted off his wings because it got too close to the sun and it fell down. That's why we had so many plane crashes. This time it's gonna play out more in these massive protests as we're already seeing. And it's going to fuel the political and social turmoil for sure. Because like on the right, people feel that unchecked immigration is destroying the fabrics of society. And on the left, people feel the right is like sowing all this division and hatred. So it's like an opposition. It's revenge. It is like with the square to the sun. And it's bruised egos because Chiron was on top of that. This is going to rise the tensions for sure. Especially in the US, there's like this sense that the Trump administration with Elon Musk is dismantling like the American institutions, and the right believes that it will thrive with them, and the left feels a lot overwhelmed and it feels under attack. We are witnessing the dismantling of old system, and this is really destined in astrology. Old structures must fall before something new can emerge. So it doesn't matter on which side of the political fence you're like standing. It is just like it's destined to happen, and something needs to get burned to the ground in order to rebuild something new. So another thing we're seeing in the chart is that Saturn is conjunct the North Node, and that can be like a very, very collective reality check. We're gonna face collective and personal karmic roadblocks and really like check-ins. We need to check in with ourselves. We can have like a serious reality slap about our existence, what we're like doing, where we're going, who we're with, and what the burdens of some of our commitments bring. And if you're like ready to keep on committing to that, actually. So yeah, it can be about your job, your relationship, it can be your mental state, it can be about the thinking habit. It depends on what house it falls in your chart, of course. So yeah, it can also feel like time can slow down. Saturn asks patience. Maybe it's not going to go as fast as you all want. Saturn and the North Node. The North Node is like what is destined to come into our lives. So more responsibility. It's about long-term goals, it's dedication, maturity, and it can also be repercussions from our past actions on a personal level, but especially on a collective level. It's in a sign of Pisces, which is a collective sign. Saturn are roadblocks, hindrances, Saturn is also the government. So what is like happening with the government right now is all very, very distant as well. And with all these multiple retrogrades that we saw going or passing over Saturn and the North Node at the end of Pisces, we're like asked to take stock, face reality, let things go that are not in alignment anymore before we can like fully move forward in May, especially middle May. So, but on the other hand, like the positive energy of this transit is like for those who like succeed to like fully commit to something right now, something new, a very great new foundation, and a lot of new stability can be provided by this transit. But I'm gonna be honest, it's gonna take a lot of hard work, and it's gonna take sacrifices. It's in the sign of Pisces. But it can also be like about forgiveness, about unconditional love, about very, very distant karmic things, actually past life karmic things that are now coming forward and want to enter your life, but you are probably going to have to sacrifice something in order to get it. And these sacrifices can be very, very hard to make. And everyone will have it on some level in their life. So yeah, we had a lot of time to think now with all the retrogrades about what we wanted to reevaluate, what we wanted to like shift in our life, and now it's like time to take action on it, especially when Mars is going to move back into Leo. So what else do we see in the chart? We can see a Mercury-Neptune conjunction, and it's now in the sign of Aries. So this can be mass confusion, it can be media manipulation. Aries is the first sign. Aries is about leadership, and it's at 0 degrees. Well, Mercury already shifted to 1 degree, but I think today, the 15th, it's going to be at 0 still, or maybe, I think today it's 29. So tomorrow it will shift at 0 degrees. So tomorrow we can have like very, very big news that's going to affect the whole globe, because it's at 0 degrees of Aries. It is the world point axis, so expect some war propaganda, some disinformation, manipulation in the media, and just like be aware that like all the algorithms are like stirring up these identity-based outrage. Identity is a sign of Aries. Aries is outrage. Neptune is media, Mercury is communication. So yeah, it like all comes together right now. So just take a step back, don't get trapped, and recognize this manipulation. We are like being played at both sides. Left and right are seeing posts that like convince them of their righteousness. And these strong feelings are like really, they are engineered. It is like by design. Regardless on which side that you fall on the political spectrum. It's like design, guys, don't fall for it. And the North Node in Pisces, it wants us to unite. It wants to bring unconditional love. It's about forgiveness. It's about unity. So I guess that's why they're like stepping up their game to divide us even more during this time, because they know as a collective, we are getting pushed towards like Pisces, and Pisces is very, very forgiving, very spiritual, but it can be about illusions as well. So with the Venus retrograde, Venus just woke up on top of Saturn. Venus is like getting off her rose-colored glasses, and it can be a rather shock, I'm not gonna lie. Venus has been she has been traveling back with her eyes closed, and it was all pretty and beautiful, and now she like wakes up, opens her eyes, and like Saturn is on top of her, and she's like, oh shit, like this is about getting taking responsibility and grow up. So yeah, it's like it's not an easy time. Like, I'm not gonna lie, the opposition to Mars and Pluto, the square to the Sun, a lot of things at the end degrees. There's like so much energy, and we can like really feel that. So take time to unwind, especially with the upcoming Mars Pluto opposition. So yeah, Mars in Leo is like fire, flames. It's also about fame, about visibility, and we remember that the first time Mars went retrograde in Leo, and it switched over to Cancer. Cancer is the home. We saw the LA wildfires, and that began when Mars moved from Cancer to Leo. Homes cancers of celebrities Leo were destroyed by the second Mars-Pluto opposition. So I am expecting more fire-related incidents or destructive events under Mars and Leo. Now it's gonna like wrap up this retrograde. So and just know Mars is gaining speed right now, and we saw Neptune moving into Aries. We saw the eclipses in Aries, and these are like all adding fuel into the mix. And there may be some triggering event that we're gonna see near the end of the shadow zone of Mars and Leo, and that will be, yeah, end of April, beginning of May. Some kind of triggering event can be rather violent, that can kick off a lot of major events that are going to follow in 2025. Because I don't know if you've noticed, but like globalism is stalling. The West is disunited. We can see a big rise in populism and in nationalism, and the WEF, the World Economic Forum, its agenda is falling or like failing to unite the world under one singular system. And like there's nothing like a carefully curated event to bring people together under a common cause. So we know governments often use suspiciously convenient crises to enact authoritarian policies they otherwise could not. The astrology suggests a lot of high drama and manipulation, and all these things are going to be in play in the next 3 weeks. So just be mindful of that. Because Sun square Mars, it is like one of the most explosive and authoritarian configurations of the month. I'm not even going to say the year. It's the third time now that Mars and Pluto are going to make its opposition. So it's the final opposition. I always say when we see multiple aspects, multiple happenings of the same aspects, that the first time we kind of know the energy. So we're getting like a sneak peek of what's to come. The first time was during the beginning of November. That was like with the US elections. Then the second one was the beginning of January, when all of these homes got destroyed in LA. And the second time we're like, okay, well, yes, this is this energy that's coming in, and it's very, very clear. And then I always say the third time, the final time, that is like the biggest hit. And that's about to come right now. So I just wanted to give you like a heads up, not to install fear, but to give foresight, to prepare yourself. It can also be because with Saturn on the North Node, it can also amplify like government enforcement, public resistance, martial law. All these things can really happen. And the Sun is about to shift into Taurus. So yeah, we're going to see a Sun in Taurus, a Mars in Leo, and a Pluto in Aqua. They're going to form this big immense T-square, and it's one of the most politically charged configurations of the year. It will also be very much felt on like campuses or universities or something in regards to schools and children, because Leo is the sign of children. And if there were like to be a mass shooting at a school, like this would be time, because Mars and Pluto together squaring the Sun is a very, very violent configuration here. So I'm knocking on wood that this doesn't happen, but we're going to see it play out in the collective, in youth movements, and institutions like universities, and like an individual resistance to authority that will be so strong the coming next weeks. And Sun, Pluto, Mars here in the T-square really indicate power struggles, authoritarian displays, and also very ego-driven leadership responses. So yeah, it's gonna get intense. Like we need to get past this, and then it will all get better. So then I can finally stop with saying like, oh, this is so intense. No. You've like heard me say it a couple of times in the last few weeks, and I know when we will get towards mid of May, end of May, that things will slowly start to get better. So yeah, we're going to see dramatic confrontations all between like student bodies and also administrative or like federal forces. There will be like some kind of clash in that. So yeah, I do expect a lot of resistance, a lot of suppression, especially like in schools that is tied to like political activism. And I also think because we just had this full moon in Libra and all these things are kind of connected with each other, that there may be some kind of judicial ruling that is going to clash with some executive power. And it can also be like, it can possibly be a Supreme Court intervention as well. Maybe some judge is going to freeze some assets of a high level official, or the Supreme Court is going to try to limit presidential power. And it can also be like some last minute legal directives that are going to be like aimed at calming public unrest. It can also be with that, because yeah, full moon in Libra, it's about the scales of justice, it's about judicial system as well, and the sun was conjunct Chiron. People are acting out of hurt soul wounds, so that's why things are a bit intense right now. Yeah, it's like deep wounds related to masculinity, related to the father figure, and also our ego that is like bruised. And that's like some energy we're still in right now until we're going to see the new moon in Taurus on the 27th of April. So now these times is like triggering inner masculine healing. It can also be like very big reckoning with like an abandonment issues, abuse, and especially abuse of power and leadership. So the good news is, Mars is trine Neptune, and we're going to see that now actually until mid-May. So yeah, in the midst of all this chaos, Mars trines Neptune offers like a subtle undercurrent of compassion, spirituality, but also inspired action. That's why people are so drawn right now to these humanitarian causes, to like the spiritual activism, and like using art or music as like tools for peace or for protest. So yeah, luckily this aspect is going to soften some of the more harsh energies that we're seeing in the chart right now. And it's going to provide healing for our collective imagination. So with the week ahead highlighted a little bit, and I see Barbie. Barbie says, hi, good morning, Barbie. I have Saturn and Pisces. Me too. So we both had our Saturn return, which was quite tough. I'm not gonna lie. It was a lot of hard work and a lot of moments of isolation and a lot of times of just having to get it over with and just continue with what we're doing, even if there weren't a lot of even if there wasn't a lot of feedback, or it took a lot of dedication to go where you needed to be. I also have a Pisces moon. We have a lot of similarities, Barbie. I'm happy you're here with us today. And Blue Moon Rising says, hi, welcome. Okay, we're gonna switch over to Mars in Leo. Been waiting since November, December for this. So yeah, on the 18th of April, Mars is finally going to move back into a fire sign, something we've all been waiting for. It's going to stay there until June 17, 18, depending on where you live in the world. And like the biggest keywords are courage, bold leadership, and passionate drive. Because Mars is the planet of action, desire, and when it enters Leo, it's the sign of bold expression. It's creativity, it is pride, it is joy, it is romance, it is fun. So yeah, it's like the whole Martian energy in the collective is going to shift into way more fiery, dramatic, and like authentic self-expression mode. So yeah, Mars is a fire planet, Leo is a fire sign. The energy is going to be supercharged. It's going to be way more passionate, and it can be very attention grabbing. So for people who don't have like a healthy ego, it can be a bit too much. So yeah, you're just gonna like notice that everyone wants to be in the spotlight. And with the Pluto Mars still in play, people like won't allow you to steal their spotlight. So we're gonna see a big rise in confidence. People really want to be seen, heard, and celebrated. Good for artists and visionaries. They will feel more driven. But emotions and actions can come with a lot of flair, for better or worse. So people can express themselves on a more authentical level, and not everyone will appreciate that. So a lot of people are also going to be more willing to take the lead, or really to like put themselves on the main stage, and some people are going to be bothered and triggered by that for sure. So yeah, it's like another thing is like, expect a lot of romantic heat. Oh my god, Mars rules desire, Leo rules romance. Together this is like fireworks. So I'm expecting more flirtation, more bold love declarations, and like a big willingness to pursue what or who you want. Because Mars Pluto opposition together can have like this, if you are able to tap into the more positive, or like higher manifestation of this transit, it can give you this incredible willpower to just keep going until you get what you want. So but people are gonna be very brutal with this energy, because they're just like, are not gonna, they're not gonna want to be accountable for hurting other people. They're just going to be like, well, this is what I want, and I don't care what others think of it. And it will be very important to keep a balance in that. We here in Dutch, we say they will go over dead bodies. I know it's not a saying in English, but people will be willing to do a lot, and be careful not to hurt others in the process of that. So yeah, but the positive thing of Mars and Leo is like, now you can be like the first one to make like the move, or like express your love, or reignite a spark. And it can be with your kids, can be with your lover, can be in a creative project. But just know that love in general can get very theatrical. Yeah, flirtations are like gonna turn into some kind of performance, and like these grand romantic gestures, or like people are gonna crave more attention than usual. So yeah, it's gonna really intensify these romantic pursuits and desires. All of this will get extra ignited with the Mars Pluto. It's gonna get pretty intense and transformative for sure. So ego, shadow side warning: too much pride is going to lead to conflict, and it's going to cause unnecessary drama. That will definitely pull up, because everyone wants to be like the king or the queen, but not everyone wants to share the throne. I think that will be a very key sentence that we're going to see play out, especially on the world stage. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of big rise in courage. You're gonna like feel you're gonna have the guts to go for it, speak up, or like leap into something you've been holding back on. There's like a very fearless quality right here. So trust your instincts, and really like it's a good time to launch that project. Ask them out, apply for that position. The energy really like supports big, brave new steps. So really showcase your talents. Really lead with your heart. Leo is the heart. So in medical astrology, Leo rules the back, it rules the spine, it rules the heart. If Mars makes bad aspects in your natal chart, whenever it's in Leo, you can suffer more from your back, or it can be harder to open your heart. We're gonna see a rise in heart attacks as well. And I've already like made a whole Mars retrograde in Leo video. I've listed them in the description box below. Go watch that if you want to like know more in depth about the Mars in Leo. I've made like several videos about that, because there's like, I think 2.5 hours of information on just that aspect. So yeah, so Mars in Leo is also about passionate advocacy, it's playful competition, and Leo rules performance, beauty, art. So really important to create something from the heart. So it's about making something that reflects your heart and soul, and really putting that out there, not out of pride, like not out of false pride and wanting to have admiration, but more like this is my creativity and I'm letting it flow and I'm sharing it openly and authentically with you. That should be like the intention behind it. So yeah, express your passions and really let yourself be seen. But yeah, be careful of inflated ego or self-centered or like childish behavior. Leo rules children, so some people are gonna act in a very, very childish way, because some people are gonna become like overly focused on like being seen or wanting to be praised, and it's gonna be annoying when people are gonna seek too much validation. So keep that in mind. And don't take things personally if you're like not being put in the spotlight. Your time will come. So yeah, who will be impacted the most? The fixed signs: Leo, Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, but also Aries. Mars is your planet, and Scorpio your fixed sign, and Mars is your chart ruler if you're Scorpio rising. So yeah, buckle up, Scorpio risings. Mars is going to be on your MC at the top of your chart. You could get some wanted or unwanted attention for sure. You're gonna notice that. So yeah, especially Scorpio risings need to be very, very careful for theatrical arguments. Yeah, it can lead to like overreactions, and it's going to be very, very publicly and widely known because it's at the top of your chart. But we'll talk about that later when we look at the 12 signs. So yeah, for everyone, don't create like dramatic ultimatums. Don't create a conflict pure for attention. And yeah, if you like exaggerate your emotional responses, it's gonna get you like in trouble. Don't roar louder than is necessary. And don't jump into things too fast. We still have everything that needs to come out of shadow. So also watch out for over promising and like under delivering during this time, because we can like burn out from like chasing too many passions all at once. So don't get burned. And Leo also like loves to lead, but it can also make that very controlling if others don't like fall in line. So watch this, especially on the world stage. President Trump has a natal Mars in Leo, so the saga continues. There are going to be power struggles in group dynamics, especially around leadership and recognition. So yeah, it's like the outside image may be like prioritized over the true intention behind it, and that can like result in neglecting the spiritual needs in favor of your visibility. So that's also a very, very big theme. So I'm gonna look at the comments. Blue Moon Rising says, I have Mars in Leo opposite Pluto exact right now. Yeah, like, do you have it in transit exact, or yeah, it needs to be in transit, right? Yeah, it's like an overall energy for everyone right now, and I'm gonna make a Pluto Mars opposition video on Sunday or Monday, so be sure to hit the bell button below and you'll get a notification for when I put this out, because it's going to be very, very important. And Blue Moon Rising says, does this cause head issue? My Mars in Leo is on my ascendant. So yeah, when you have Mars on your rising, you need to be extra careful for bruises, cuts, burns. Mars rules knives, heat, flames. All these things are part of Mars. When it's on your rising, it's on your body. So whenever you have Mars on the rising, you also need to be more careful for aggression from others. Especially if you're a man and you have Leo, you have Mars in Leo on your rising, then it can be that other males want to like dominate you. That can be a sign for sure. And Barbie says, I'm Aries Sun and Mars Leo is in my 12th house. Oh, that's so cool, because I'm an Aries Sun as well, and my Aries Sun rules my 12th house. So yeah, it's the same for you, but Sun and Mars. Mars is also in Leo for you. For me as well. Then we have a very, very exact the same chart, which is like blowing my mind actually. I will go further into that in the comments when we finish the video, Barbie, but that is like insane. We'll like have all the same placements. Then Joff says, hi Jorf from the north, hello, hope everybody is having a great day. I'm hoping you're having a great day as well, Jorf. And yeah, let's get into, I need to like mention how to work with this energy. I almost forgot because I have like this Easter page ready for you after the rituals to have like an Easter warning. But let's look at the rituals because yeah, this transit is very, very fiery, very fierce and full of potential. If you like know how to work with it, instead of letting it work against you, it can be like a really, really wonderful energy to work with. So the first thing you can do is do a fire letter ritual. So write a letter to your ego, be real, be raw, and name like the patterns you want to let go of. For example, needing too much validation. You can write down letting go your fear of not being seen. It can also be pride blocking your vulnerability. Write things down, safely burn the letter. Don't get caught with arson because Leo is fire and Mars is a fire planning. So be careful that you don't set the house on fire during this time. I'm like really serious. So while you burn the letter, you can say, I release what no longer serves my authentic expression. I return to my joy, not my ego. So how do I express my passions? Where does it burn too hot? And where does the flame needs to be reignited? So another thing is like, what does leadership look like when led by the heart, not by the ego? Another thing you can do is you can create something, be creative. You can dance, paint, write poetry, sing, you can dress up, you can take endless fierce selfies without having like an audience required for that. You can then like do an heart opening breathwork session. But like my favorite thing to do with Mars and Leo is like dance to your favorite power song. And shine out, but lift others up too. That's gonna be so important. Another thing we can do is a solar plexus activation, because Leo is the color yellow. So we can also work with yellow crystals like citrine, sunstone, tiger's eye. But yeah, do something very solar plexus focused. It can be yoga, it can be the fire breath. You can meditate with your hands on your solar plexus and visualize a golden sun expanding in your belly. And you can say, for example, my power is mine to lead with. I don't chase attention. I radiate presence. Something else we can do is dress up nicely and look in the mirror, because you can like stand in front of a mirror and really like hype yourself up out loud, and you can say 5 things you really love about your body, your personality, your creativity, or your courage. And you can like affirm by saying, I am like the embodiment of fierceless love. I see myself, I celebrate myself. And then you can like reflect on, what does true confidence feel like in my body? Another thing we can do is a drama detox ritual. So the purpose is to protect your peace from attention seekers, energy vampires, or your own tendencies to overreact. And you can do that by cleansing your space with smoke. You can use Mars Leo herbs, which are rosemary and cinnamon. You can also visualize a golden shield of light around your aura. And you can like say, I protect my energy. I do not perform. I choose peace over pride. And you can do all of these rituals during like this whole transit in Leo. And it's like for the maximum Leo magic. So enjoy and don't forget to have fun and to open your heart and let others shine too. Do it because it lights you up to see others shine too. Follow fun, move towards joy, let pleasure be your compass during this time. Because the world needs more people who are like lit up from within, who express love, passion, and purpose without shame. Mars and Leo really asks like, what would you do if you like truly believed in your brilliance? A lot of people are too shy, or a lot of people get told that their enthusiasm and their passion is too much, or their wild feminine is too much. Well, no, it's not too much. It just needs to be balanced, and it needs to come from a good, I think, intention. So with that being said, we're quickly gonna look at Easter, because that is gonna be very, very special. And oh, I'm just seeing this blue moon rising, but thank you so much for the donation. And thank you so much for being part here. And thank you so much for supporting my channel. I'm very, very grateful. Blue moon rising. So let's look at Easter weekend, or Ishtar. You can look up Ishtar if you don't know it. It's like the true mythology behind Easter. And I just wanted to like highlight this chart a little bit, because this is going to be one of the most intense days of the year. The moon will enter Aquarius, and that's going to be in the evening for the States on the 20th, and it will be after midnight for Europe. And it's gonna form, yeah, it's like gonna join this T-square party. So we see a T-square with the Sun and Taurus, the Mars and Leo, and Pluto and Aqua, and the moon is gonna conjunct Pluto. And that means that the moon is gonna activate this Mars-Pluto opposition. And it's gonna serve as this emotional trigger for a much deeper power struggle during that day. So the early part of Easter Sunday, with the moon still in Capricorn, as we see here in the chart, that can feel steady, it can feel productive, but things are going to shift dramatically after that. And that is going to be when like the people are going to feel tired, they're going to feel like primed for a reaction, for this kind of confrontation. And also there's going to be a lot of projection for sure. So this configuration is going to stir tension within family gatherings for sure, especially where there are like these old dynamics of control, of rivalry, or like suppressed resentment. Mars and Leo brings this competitive, very performative energy. And Pluto and Aqua is like there, it's hidden in the undercurrents of the collective, and it could really manifest as these generational clashes at the dinner table. So really avoid awkward political or religious conversations. It's going to get to dramatic emotional eruptions, and that can be among your family, it can be among groups of friends that you visit for Easter. We're also going to see that playing out in the online communities, on the internet during the weekend. And if you do have to attend some kind of event or some kind of gathering on that day, I would advise you to do it early, like go early, leave soon, keep it light, keep it short, really avoid heated debates or like these late night conversations that are going to be fueled by alcohol. Be very, very careful with your alcohol during this time, and actually, especially from now until the 5th of May. Like, I never drink. Alcohol is no problem for me. But if you're in this family gathering and like Oma or like grandmother has too much to drink, and you have this abusive aunt or mother-in-law, then it's gonna get feisty. So let me know what happens for you during these family gatherings. I'm gonna be honest, family gatherings, even without alcohol, can be quite testing. So just be careful, because Mars is impulse, Pluto is intensity. That can also mean if you need to attend an event in a crowd, be very, very careful, because it means that the crowd dynamic is going to be very unstable. So if you're planning to go out in the public, especially if you go to a concert, a club, a festival, or some kind of religious gathering, it's best to be like extra aware of your environment, because this configuration is so intense. It can coincide with accidents, stampedes, it can be tech malfunctions causing fire, and it can also be emotional group meltdowns. And I'm saying this not to keep you in a state of, or not to put you in a state of fear, but I want to like empower you with some foresight. Really stay grounded, stay centered, really listen to your intuition, and just know that sometimes the most radical act of courage under this Mars Pluto square the sun is like walking away. Disengage, say no, just drop it and walk away, because this is like this major purging moment, and it's like the death of the ego's old script. And for many people, Easter this year is gonna mark this symbolic resurrection. There can be this personal moment where you need to like step away from something toxic. It's a time for you to really reclaim your own light, reclaim your inner authority. Mars and Leo, choose to live in integrity as well. So yeah, I know it's all a bit intense, but after we get past this moment, things are gonna get better. So yeah, with all of that being said, I'm gonna start my readings for the 12 signs. So let me know what your sun, moon, or rising sign is. Maybe let me know where you are watching this from. I'm using whole sign system for these readings. So it's best to first look at your rising sign, because that is going to be most applicable for you. You can then also look at your sun sign. And if you want to look at it from an emotional perspective, you can also look for your moon sign. So of course, we're gonna start with Leo, sun, moon, or rising. Hello, my dear Leos. Mars is gonna enter your sign again after being in your 12th house of being very, very loud in your subconscious domain. It's now finally gonna shift into your sign again. So on the 18th, that will happen. The first house is the house of the self, your identity, your body, and your personal drive. So yeah, it's your time to rise, to roar, and to like reinvent, or to like show all these things you reinvented during the retrogrades, and now it's like ready to show to the world. So you will also feel this rise in energy. You will feel more motivated, or like physically active. So it's like you're like finally stepping back into your power after months of this inner processing. So Mars is going to give you the big fuel to initiate bold moves, really assert yourself unapologetically, and it can also be like a rise and leading with charisma. So very, very powerful time for personal rebranding. It can be a rise in body confidence and also new beginnings. But if you're a Leo rising, be careful, because Mars is going to come onto your rising. Be extra careful for bruises, cuts, and burns. But apart from that, expect to feel seen. And because Mars is going to get challenged by Pluto, your energy becomes more assertive, more radiant. People will respond to that. So keep that in mind. You may also feel more impatient, more direct, and more reactive. So it's very important to stay grounded in your heart rather than use your pride. So You can take up space with good intention and express your authentic self without like waiting for this permission. Just know, Leos, you are so magnetic. People are gonna notice your presence for sure. So make sure your fire is like channeled towards something meaningful. On the flip side, if you have natal planets squaring this position, it can bring ego clashes, impulsivity, or like a tendency to really like bulldoze others if you're not centered or not heart centered. So can make you feel a bit more sensitive to how others perceive you. So really let your actions speak louder than your ego. You are not here to impress, you're here to inspire. So lead yourself first and your fire will light the way for others. So yeah, you are like really the stars of the show. Mars in Leo is gonna put a big spotlight on you guys, especially with the opposition to Pluto, especially with the square to the sun. This is like a very big power up moment, but use it wisely. And if people are triggered by your presence, just don't care and just don't react and walk away. You're in the driver's seat. The world is like ready to see what you've got after all these months. There's a very big glow up transit for you guys. And I know you didn't have an easy time with Mars in your 12th house for like months and months on the back end. So yeah, that like really confronted you or like forced to confront it, your inner fears. And now it's like you're like emerging more self-assured and there can be like a whole change in dynamic. You can feel physically stronger, but yeah, don't react when you get challenged because it will happen. Mars opposing Pluto in the 7th can stir tension in your close relationships. So choose your battles wisely and let your creativity and work and words as well speak louder than your ego and your pride. So really channel your drive into an conscience, leadership, or go work out. Mars is very hot. You need to like channel this hot burning energy. You can do it in the fitness, in the gym. You can refresh your look right now. It would be wise to update your goals because you're going to have more energy reserves with this transit. And yeah, just really walk the talk and also walk with purpose. But do it in a very humble and aware way. Just know that your presence is gonna have a lot of power during this time. So yeah, big initiation, time to inspire others, and you're ready to evolve in your next chapter. So let me know how you Leos are feeling during this time. And yeah, Blue Moon Rising says, I felt so tired. Yeah, I totally understand. When like Mars is in your 12th house, it is the dream world, the dream state, it is the unseen realms, it is the subconscious. Mars is very loud when that like operates in that sector of your chart. That can be way too much. And it can be very hard to find inner peace. So for my Leos, once we get through this Mars-Pluto opposition, and I'm going to make a whole new video on that this Sunday or Monday. Once we're past that, it's going to be so much better for you guys. And I'm looking forward to it as well. So I'm sending much love your way, my dear Leo. So we have Aries, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Mars in Leo is gonna enter your 5th house of creativity, romance, pleasure, joy, play, creativity. So yeah, it's like in its home housey, especially if you're in Aries rising. So it has so much power. And the 5th house is like my favorite house. It's joy, it's laughter, it's humor. It's playing like a kid, disconnecting to the heart energy. So for my Aries risings, that will be so cool. Yeah, after we go through the Mars Pluto position, of course, but it is like Very joyful courage, this personal fire. It is the place where things get born into the fifth house, because that's the place where we have kids as well. But it can also be the house where we take risks to really show who we are. It can be through artistic work, it can be through performance, it can be by flirting with someone else, it can also be done by parenting your kids. So Mars is, of course, your chart ruler. So this is going to be an especially powerful moment where your identity, drive, and instincts align with the themes of joy, passion, and visibility. The spotlight is on your house of joy. So you may feel this renewed desire to create something from your heart, take bold steps in romantic pursuits, or simply have more fun and be unapologetically yourself. So Mars here is going to fuel your need for recognition, and you may like crave a space where you can truly stand out, where you can like shine and feel celebrated. So an excellent time to pursue your passion projects or launch something in the creative field. It can be creative work, it can be a social initiative, or it can just mean showing up in your daily life with more flair and confidence. Romance can heat up under this transit for sure. Mars is going to make you way more assertive in love, and it's going to make you more magnetic in your interactions with potential suitors. So yeah, you're going to crave more adventure, a more playful competition. And if you're in a relationship, this is a perfect time to like rekindle the spark through more being more spontaneous. You can also have more shared joy. However, if Mars makes squares to your natal planets, the fifth house energy can sometimes lead to these ego-driven clashes, overconfidence. You need to be careful for, or this performative behavior that is not really applicable, and kind of some situations if you're gonna feel overlooked. So yeah, the key is to channel this fire into authentic creation rather than this validation seeking energy. Yeah, reconnect with your inner artist, your inner child, your desires. Let go of the need for approval, and instead do what brings you joy. Because yeah, it's who you are. Mars transit in the fifth house, people are gonna start to see you more as who you truly are. And with the opposition to Mars, to Pluto in your 11th house, some friends are gonna feel threatened and are not gonna see this as a welcome sign, because you can outshine others during this time, and some friends are not gonna be welcome of that. So yeah, express yourself with your whole heart, and just know that you may take up space, but do it with the right intention. And you're also being reminded that pleasure, passion, and play, they aren't like indulgences, they are like part of your power. So yeah, just be careful of some tension with friends or like with your audience. Watch for power struggles or some dramas in group settings, and don't let your spotlight create this unnecessary competition. It's about celebrating your passion and really encouraging others to do the same. So use your light to inspire others, and really ground your enthusiasm in love rather than in pride, and balance your desire for personal recognition with support for others. Authentic joy is very magnetic, so share it in a generous way. And if you are looking to get pregnant, there can be a lot of energy. A lot of energy can go or can get directed in the fifth house of making babies. So if you're looking to get pregnant, my dear Aries, this is a wonderful time to do so in the next month. So enjoy doing that, have fun. And if you don't want kids, make it safe. So or do it safe. So I'm very happy for you guys because the fifth house is like the best house of all to have this transit right now. So yeah, let me know what happens for you guys. I'm very, very curious as a fellow Aries. So yeah, I'm sending you lots of love. Then we have Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You are gonna have this Mars putting a spotlight on your fourth house of home, family, and ancestry. It's also your emotional foundation. So yeah, Mars is gonna bring some heat to your private world. And it can feel like you have this strong need to assert yourself within the household or explore deeper questions around your roots and belonging. So yeah, Mars also cuts and severs in the fourth house of family. After this whole retrograde in Cancer back into your fourth house, some are gonna have to put up very strong boundaries with family. Strong boundaries to people they live with together. So be careful on Easter weekend. You're like one of the signs that can really get into trouble during the family gatherings. So Taurus risings, be careful with alcohol. You might need to make some bold changes in your living situations. You can also having to reclaim your emotional space. So really take ownership of your own inner world. It is a very, very powerful time for healing these generational wounds and also reconnecting with the fire of your ancestors. But yeah, this energy is going to stir up long-standing family dynamics, and it's going to bring them now to the surface for a final resolution. Mars and Leo want you to be proud of where you like come from, but it also challenges you to like grow beyond these inherited stories. And these inherited stories that no longer serve you, like Mars is going to cut them. So yeah, some of you are also going to feel motivated to renovate, to move, or to make your home more of your personal temple. Some of you are going to want to work out in the home more often. And emotional security becomes a focus, and you want to like protect what's sacred to you, especially behind closed doors. So use this time to reflect on what home truly means to you and how you can lead from the heart within your home or within your private life. If Mars makes bad aspects in your own personal chart, it can ignite some emotional reactivity. It can bring up some domestic conflict or also some passive aggressive dynamics at home. So assert, don't attack. Be mindful of using this fire constructively and express what you need rather than holding it in until it explodes. I know you, Taurus. Like, I have a brother that's a Taurus. They're very, very, very chill out. They have so much patience until they have not. So yeah, express what you need rather than holding it in. Root yourself in self-respect, and you'll also find that this transit has the power to not just shift your home or family dynamic, but like really rekindle your connection to the place that places within you that feels like home. No matter where you are, actually. So that can be very, very profound. And Mars connection to both your seventh house of partnership and your 12th house of the subconscious also suggests like that the relationships dynamics may be quietly affecting your inner peace. So things happen at home are gonna have a greater impact on your nervous system and your inner peace. There could also be like this push and pull between your home and your work, and you can feel pressure in both areas, and you need to like manage both domestic needs and professional responsibilities, because Pluto's opposition from your 10th house signals like some deeper career related or like power struggles in partnership that are like gonna demand your attention. So stay grounded, focus on the physical space around you, and yeah, maybe make a to-do list to set your priorities, because a lot of yeah, it's happening in angular houses for you, Taurus, so it's going to have a lot more impact. And also know, channel your frustration into something productive. It can be like cleaning out the home, do this big spring cleaning. That would be very, very good, because all of Mars, the hot action-packed energy is like being channeled into the 4th house now. So use it to do a big, big spring cleaning. So yeah, you can like, your emotional foundation is also being reshaped by that. So be mindful of that. Okay, I think that is it. I wish you the best of luck, my Taurus rising. And Timothy. Hi, Timothy. Hello, Astrid. Thank you for this. So glad I caught you when I came home for work. This is my moon sign. I'll have to watch the rest in replay. Oh, Timothy, so you had to work at night again. In Dutch we say slaap wel, sweet dreams, Timothy, and thank you for joining. So the next one is Gemini, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You are gonna have Mars activating your 3rd house of communication, thought patterns, because the 3rd house is the house of the mind. It's also about siblings and your daily interactions or your local environment. So it's gonna light up your mind with a very fast, expressive, and assertive energy. Be careful about speaking boldly. But you can also write about your passions, or write with a lot of passion, or you're feeling more compelled to really speak out more or share your ideas and your opinions. This can be a very, very good time to launch a podcast, start a writing project, or really pitch something very important and exciting. Your mental fire is very, very high, and people are more likely to notice what you're gonna say. So use your words very, very wisely, because now you're like in the position with all this fire in the 3rd house. You can like really create a lot of drama with what you say, and you can like really destroy people with words. So be very, very calm with that. But yeah, you can, if you use it in a positive way, you can be like this leader in dialogue. Really, own your own voice, redefine the way how you express your truth. Everything you're saying, you're gonna want to be heard, and you probably will be, especially if you like speak with this authenticity from your heart. Conversations with siblings, neighbors, colleagues are gonna become more dynamic. Can also become more confrontational, and you might find yourself in situations where clarity and directness are going to be key in handling situations. Mars and Leo really is going to help you to take the initiative that have been like to take the initiative on ideas that have been like simmering in your mind. But be careful about being too reactive, too defensive, or too dominating in how you write or speak. There's like this very fine line between assertiveness and aggression, especially if you're going to encounter these fast-paced conversations. So you don't need to prove you're like the smartest one in the room. Let your passion speak louder than your pride. And if you use this consciously, this is a time to really wield your voice like a flame that warms and inspires others, not one that like scorches the room. So watch your tone, especially if you end up in a debate with co-workers, neighbors, or siblings, because this Mars opposition to Pluto in your 9th house could really stir tensions around travel, beliefs, legal matters. Can also be about higher education. So try not to like bulldoze through philosophical differences. Yeah, that will be an important one as well. But I'll make a whole Pluto-Mars opposition video as well. Just remember, Gemini, flexibility is key, and plans are maybe not going to unfold exactly as you expect them. So it's going to be important to stay diplomatic, especially in group settings, because Mars rules your 11th house. And also, refine your message. Make sure you're not just heard, but also understood. So let your voice uplift others. Don't just like argue to win, because all of people are gonna get. They're gonna feel this energy in your 3rd house, and they're gonna feel like they're going to want to have these heated discussions with you. So be careful for that, and just know that this is the energy in your chart right now. So let me know what happens for you, my dear Gemini, and I wish you the best of luck. We have Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You are gonna have this Mars entering in the sign of Leo into your second house of money. It's also self-worth, possessions, and values. So your attention really turns to what you have, what you earn, and what you're worth. And this is a powerful time to like go after financial goals. So you can ask for a raise or build something that reflects your values. There's this strong push to prove your value, not just to others, but also to yourself. And Mars in Leo is going to remind you that confidence and financial abundance are both deeply intertwined. This can be a very powerful, empowering transit. So you need to use it to act from like a place of self-trust. Some of Cancer risings especially are gonna want to be entrepreneurs. They're gonna feel more competitive or driven to like invest in their self or in their work. So yeah, my dear Cancer, if you have been like underestimating your talents, Mars now will challenge you to really own your worth more boldly, even if that means confronting your scarcity mindset and also your outdated beliefs around value and money. So what you build now can be very sustainable if it's like aligned with your core values, not just your ego. The shadow side of this transit can like manifest as overspending, comparing yourself to others, or feeling pressured to prove something through material success. So ground yourself by asking, do I want this because it's aligned with my values, or because I want validation? That will be a very important question to ask yourself throughout the month. So really let this fire fuel your sense of value from the inside out, because you're learning that confidence is like a sort of currency, and you don't need like external approval to feel rich. So yeah, be mindful of your finances, especially because Mars is going to oppose Pluto in the eighth house, which governs shared resources, also debt, taxes, inheritances. So yeah, it could bring money conflicts with a partner, or there could be some overall dispute over joint finances and power struggles about that. So yeah, the goal is not just to earn more, but to feel more worthy too, and not let others take power over you in the money sector of your chart. So yeah, stand very firm in your value, like without having to prove it with flashy purchases. You can assert your own worth through confidence and clarity with Mars here now. And if you've been working hard behind the scenes, now it's like the time to ask for that raise or launch something new you're offering. Just like do it with strategy, and do it because you feel worthy of doing it. Mars has been in your sign for so long. So after all this time, Mars now finally switches to Leo, and you will feel less emotionally reactive in your identity. It will now switch towards your second house of values. So Mars has been reshaping your identity, and it's been like doing this for like 6 months in your core and on the inside, and now it switches to the second house, and it will be a whole new sort of valuing yourself and putting power in that, and really like asking for a raise or earning more money, because now you know you're worth it. You had to work so hard on yourself the last 6 months. So yeah, enjoy it and let me know what happens for you, Cancer, and if you're gonna feel this shift of Mars finally moving out of your sign. So if you're watching it today, the 15th until the 17th, Mars will be at 29 degrees of your sign, so that could be rather intense and very emotional. Something needs to shift, break down, and you will feel it's moving to Leo this weekend. So let me know what happens for you guys, and I wish you the best of luck. We have Virgo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You are gonna have Mars putting its spotlight on your 12th house. Help. Okay, I'm a Virgo rising is too. The 12th house is the house of solitude, of healing, final endings. It's the dream world, it's the unconscious, it's the other realms. Mars is a very, very loud planet operating in a very, very private sector of your chart. Could feel a bit uncomfortable, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, this is like gonna invite you into a quieter, more introspective cycle. And I know that's not what you want to hear because we just had all these retrogrades happening all over the place. So yeah. But for Virgo rising, it's a time where your energy may feel more inward, even hidden from others, hidden from yourself. And while the world around you might feel like it's speeding up, you're like being called to slow down, to confront the invisible forces that really shape your decisions and desires. It can be a very deeply healing time if you allow space for reflection. So yeah, I noticed it the last week, 2 weeks. I need more time for myself. I need more time to just, after a very, very busy day, just stare at the wall with this blank eyes, like totally lost in space. I do have a lot of planets in Pisces as well, personally. But as a Virgo rising, I have been feeling like, whoa, like I feel overstimulated. I have a lot of things to do, and I need more time and space for meditation and to really like listen to music and to just for an afternoon not having to do anything. I think that will be very, very, very present in the next month for the Virgo risings. So yeah, it's like these old emotional wounds and these subconscious fears might resurface, and it's not to destabilize you, but it's like to help you understand what needs to release. Can be good to dive in creative work, spiritual practices, dream work are all like powerful tools during this transit. Like, oh my god, my dreams are so profound lately. It is incredible. I had like the same dream 4 times in 1 month. Like, and it's the same dream time and time again. So very, very crazy things are happening in my dream world right now. It's like asking you to like clear out this emotional debris to make like this space for your next chapter. So you could look at this time as this spiritual detox. If Mars is gonna make squares in your own natal chart, the shadow aspect of this placement can bring burnout, it can bring escapism, it can bring self-sabotage if you like try to ignore what's rising up. Be gentle with yourself. And like, I'm not gonna lie, I am feeling a bit tired lately. I have been wanting to escape through binge watching films over the weekend, listening to music, hours and hours. And like, normally I'm not like this. So it's like there are things coming up, and it's like, too bad you can't run away from yourself, right? That's what I've been feeling over this weekend with this Libra full moon. Oh my god, I was not in a good mental space this weekend. So we need to be gentle with ourselves because your fire is still burning, but it's like doing sacred work behind the scenes. So you don't need to be on right now. Instead, like focus on this renewal, on clearing out old spaces and really realigning with your spiritual truth. Because the 12th house is, yeah, the hidden realms, this healing and the spirituality, but it can be very low energy, and very introspective times. So yeah, it's like this fiery motivation is being internalized, and if you've been like pushing too hard, you can burn like the candle at both ends at the same time. So rest, retreat, recharge, and also watch out for escapism, for self-sabotage. Mars is having an opposition to Pluto in your 6th house, and it really highlights the link between your emotional state and your physical health. So stress and unresolved feelings are going to show up through your body and in your daily routine, and you're going to need to find a healthy outlet for that. So yeah, express the inexpressible. Hidden desires and burned fears are being illuminated so they can be released. And you're preparing yourself for this powerful new cycle. But first, clear the spiritual and emotional clutter and let solitude restore your strength. So, my dear fellow Virgo risings, I am wishing you sweet dreams. We have Libra, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You are gonna have Mars entering into the sign of Leo in your 11th house of friendships, community, and also your aspirations, your goals, your dreams. So you're being pushed to step into this more active or leadership role in your social settings. And you might feel this renewed sense or this renewed drive to lead more within groups. You can launch collaborative projects or fight for like this collective humanitarian cause. It's a highly motivating energy for chasing your big picture dreams and not just dreaming about them, but actually taking action, taking passionate, inspired action. That is like what I wanted to say. So yeah, expect social dynamics to become more action-based. You might feel more competitive or assertive within your group settings as well. But be careful about butting heads with a friend or colleague or someone who like challenge your vision. Redefine who's in your circle and what kind of energy you're available for. And you're also being called to align with people who match your fire and your purpose. And Mars can stir up some tension if you're trying too hard to fit in or to prove yourself in these group settings. So focus on leading with integrity. Be kind and also like be this friend and collaborator that you wish to attract. That is like the best tip I can give you guys. Desires for the future are getting fueled and you're being inspired by them. So now strategic action will ripple forward in ways that will like uplift both you and your wider community. So yeah, old alliances may fall away and new ones or more authentic ones are going to come in now. The Mars retrograde really highlighted misalignments in your social life. So yeah, maybe you realized that certain friendships really lacked loyalty or your group goals needed some reevaluation. Now you're taking more intentional action in your network. There can be ego clashes or like online tensions can arise because Mars is oppositing Pluto in your 5th house, and that can like really stir some jealousy or drama. There can be some creative competitiveness. So be mindful of projection, from you towards others or vice versa. Yeah, this can be a time of receiving. It can be financial or emotional support from others, especially with the Sun in the 8th right now. There can be invitations, collaborations, or financial gifts that could appear out of nowhere. So yeah, simply say yes, thank you. But stay grounded when it comes to money and online discussions, and really align yourself with those who support and uplift your journey. And really share your light, but don't dim it for anyone else, my dear Libra. I'm wishing you the best of luck. Then we have Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Doom, 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 doom. Mars is on your MC at the top of your chart. Well. Okay, so Mars entering Leo in your 10th house of career, visibility, authority, and your public image. So yeah, it's like one of the most professionally charged transits of the year for you. You're feeling more ambitions, more determined, and yeah, you're gonna feel very, very eager to leave your mark. So yeah, you can step into a more leadership role at work. You can launch a new public project, and you can also assert your goals with a lot of confidence. So this is your time to really own your role as this guide that you are, as this guide, as this boss, as this leader in your career. So this transit really can bring recognition, but it's also gonna bring a lot of pressure. So you're more visible right now, that's for sure, and that means that both your brilliance but also your flaws are on a big display. So how do you handle pressure? How do you handle criticism, and also your responsibility? They will all be tested in the ways of your reputation, career, at the top of the chart. So um, Mars and Leo here is going to expose if you are leading with ego or with purpose. Either way, people will be watching, and yeah, the shadow side of this aspect, it can also bring workaholism. It can bring conflicts with authority. It can also bring the temptation to dominate rather than to inspire. And I know, my dear Scorpios, like, I love you very, very much, but you want to have control over every little situation in your life, over every people that you have ever encountered with, and this Mars can give trouble in that, especially if it's like squaring your own natal planets. The key here is to lead with your heart, not just with the need for power. And I know for you, Scorpios, you are one of the fixed signs. You are Mars is squaring your rising sign or your sun or moon, and it's at a very, very visible place. So yeah, use it wisely. Don't have this ego battle. Mars is also opposing both. Mars is your chart ruler, and Pluto is your modern chart rulers, and they're also opposing each other. Yeah, this is like very, very intense. And my Scorpios, you really need to check out the final Mars Pluto opposition video that I'm gonna release on Sunday or Monday later this week. Because it's going to be of utmost importance for you guys. So yeah, just know that you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be real. And when you channel all this passionate energy into aligned action, your career can take very, very bold strides forward right now. And you have the possibility to leave a legacy with your leadership right now. So don't fuck it up. I'm just gonna say it like this. I know you Scorpios can handle this language, but it's gonna be very, very important. Let go of control, just go with the flow, and yeah, it's about your career reputation. So you're now, after this Mars retrograde period, have a much more clearer idea about what success really means to you. But challenges can arise from the home or from the family with Pluto in the fourth. Yeah, especially if like old patterns or too much responsibilities, or like pulling you against your ambition, or like this pull and push and pull, and all these four important angular houses in your chart. So yeah, there may be tension with a partner, there may be tension with a boss. They can like both really resist the changes you're initiating. Maybe they're gonna feel a little bit intimidated by it. So really work on communication and compromise. All these things are going to be very, very crucial. Mars also rules your sixth house, so that's like your ability to manage your routines. So yeah, your health is also key to your professional success right now. So don't burn out, learn how to delegate. That's also what I meant about letting go of control. Do not want to do everything yourself, delegate when necessary, and focus on what you do best. You have these special talents, Scorpio. Not everyone can reach into the depths like you. So yeah, this is like a very, very big new public chapter, and it's like rooted in authenticity. not in power place. Remember that. Very, very good. So, yeah, let your results speak louder than your rivals. I think that is a good sentence to end this for you, my dear Scorpio, and I wish you the best of luck. Then we have Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You are gonna have Mars moving into Leo in your ninth house of beliefs. It's also the house of travel, higher education, publishing, and your belief system. So it's gonna spark this desire to expand beyond your current limits. It's your time to like chase this new horizon. It can be physical but mostly intellectual, and you're craving the more meaning, more freedom, more truth, as you are. Sag, the ninth house for you is the traditional Sag house, so it's positive for you. It's in a fire and a follow fire sign. It's gonna trine your rising, your sun of your moon, so very, very positive. You might also feel more pulled towards some new study, to travel, to teach, to explore these new philosophies that really are like gonna reignite your passion for life. There can be a big switch in your belief system. Mars severs and cuts. So yeah, there could be like some whole new belief system forming inside of you. So yeah, Mars is the planet of passion, of energy, and it's like injected in your ninth house. So ideal time to publish something, apply for a new school, take a bold trip, speak about what you believe in. Don't play it small. Mars in Leo gives you like the fire to back your convictions with actions. Um, and also know that your words carry a lot of weight right now because it's opposite Pluto in your third. So share your words to inspire, and really share from your own real experience, and let your passions like really inspire and liberate others as well. And avoid being rigid in your beliefs, or like confrontational, being like too confrontational with people who don't see the world your way. There's a difference between preaching and teaching. So let your adventures and like your own wisdom do the talking. Yeah. Act in service to the truth, not just your ego, and then you become like a light for others on the path of expansion. Just be a bit more mindful. You must watch for your for like philosophical clashes, or like these attitudes, especially in debates or like cultural settings. Mars is opposing Pluto in your third, and it could like really trigger friction with your siblings, your neighbors, and it can also be about like too bold, or like manipulation through words. So for my Sages at the family dinner on Easter, be a bit more mindful, and don't drink too much because it could set off a whole big fight with your siblings. So plan with intention, communicate clearly, and find ways to balance the practical with the visionary. Mars and Leo really wants you to take the bold, joyful leaps into this new territory, but just keep one foot grounded while the other is dancing towards more freedom. We just need to go through the final Mars Pluto opposition, and then things will get better. So, good luck, my dear Sagittarius. We have Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Mars is gonna enter your eighth house of intimacy, shared resources, power dynamics, and also psychological transformation. The eighth house is a very, very deep, intense house. It's a very powerful deep dive. This is not like surface level fire. It is like emotional alchemy, and really like confront what lies beneath the surface. These are fears, these are attachments, they are desires, and they are also power plays. In the eighth house, we find sex, death, money, and also emotional mergings. They are very, very hot zones right now. And Mars really wants you to stop avoiding the intensity of life. So yeah, it can be a very, very profound healing time if you're willing to face what you've been afraid to confront. Can be about debts, can be about navigating inheritance or joint finances. And it can also deepen your connection with a partner through this raw vulnerability right now. Mars gives you the courage to reclaim your power, maybe power that you've given away during the retrograde, to people, to situations, to fears. And this eighth house is where transformation is going to meet the fire right now. So be mindful that this house can trigger control issues, possessiveness, and also emotional explosions if you're holding too much back. Mars doesn't want you to like suppress your feelings. It wants you to burn through what's keeping you small. So lean into intimacy that empowers you, and also alchemize fear into fierce inner knowing. Yeah, the eighth house is the house of intimacy and transformation, yeah, depths and intensity. Yeah, it's about trust issues as well. It's about power. It's about opening up. It's about real intimacy. So yeah, the retrograde here might have exposed some trust issues, some hidden resentments, and now that Mars is direct re-entering the eighth house, there's like this forward momentum building. But you will need to face some issues head on, because Mars is opposing Pluto in your second house, and this is suggesting big power struggles over mine versus what is yours. This is the give and take axis. Very, very intense dynamic here. So yeah, it's with money, it's with inheritance, can be over property, and you're going to need to deal with a lot of transparency and fairness, and these are going to be essential to avoid combative moments. But there is a lot of room for healing here. Powerful emotional healing. If you have a financial strategy as well, really embrace the change, do your inner work, and really take a close look at your attachments. Yeah, this Mars in the eighth house can really deepen intimacy with a partner. If you succeed in letting down your walls, Mars in the eighth house, for example, if you have it in synastry with another with another person, it can be too much to handle. I'm not gonna lie. It is like a very loud planet in a very private house, and it's gonna stir up a lot of emotions inside of you. People who are like Pluto dominated, or like can handle a Mars really well, they're gonna like the intensity. That's like what's making them feel alive. But you are Capricorn rising, or Capricorn sun or moon, for you it could be like, oh well, it's getting quite hot under my toes. So yeah, let me know how you are handling this, and if you like this energy, or if you're a little bit afraid of that. If that's the case, I totally understand. But yeah, an important time to really reclaim your power through honesty, and don't let your ego block real growth. I think that is most important for you, my dear Capricorn. So I wish you the best of luck, and let me know how it plays out for you. Then we have Aquarius, sun, moon, or rising. Oh my God, Aquarius, this is going to be such a biggie for you. Mars in Leo is going to activate your seventh house of partnerships, contracts, your one-on-one close dynamics, your marriage house. So yeah, it can bring a very, very fiery intensity to your closest connections. It can be romantic, professional. Your relationships are going to become more energized, more passionate, and possibly more confrontational. Yeah, you're really being called to redefine how you show up in a partnership, and also what you're willing to fight for, and what you're willing to walk away from. Some of you are gonna need to walk away from a situation. It's a great time to initiate deeper conversations and also spark new connections. Can also be a renegotiation about dynamics that have become somewhat stale. And if you're like in a routine or in a relationship for a long time, And if you have been avoiding conflict during this Mars retro period, now Mars back into the 7th house will push things to the surface in a very loud, quick way. And just know passion is a two-way street. It can bring people together or it can ignite arguments if respect isn't like present. And with the opposition to Pluto in your sign, things can get quite intense. It's like what matters most is that you're like clear about what you want and if you're like brave enough to really go for it. The shadow side of this aspect is that this can bring major ego clashes. It can bring defensiveness behaviors, can bring passive aggressiveness in your house of marriage or in business partnerships as well. So yeah, if you're willing to face these issues head on, then it can be a breakthrough period as well. So really let Mars be very, very, let it be your teacher, how to be fiery, how to have more flair, how to be more assertive, and the way you like navigate relationships now really sets the tone for more empowered connections that are gonna come forward right now. So yeah, the retrograde here from Mars through Cancer likely brought back old relationships dynamics, or like could have forced you to reevaluate you where you like stand with someone. So now you're in a position to assert your needs more directly. But yeah, Mars opposing Pluto in your first house really shows you're not undergoing it shows that you're undergoing these deep personal changes, and others are going to respond to that in a very loud way right now. So these inner transformations might not sit very well with everyone around you. So some of you are going to have to end the relationship, or are going to be required to bring a very major recalibration in that. And communication is really key now. Mercury in the 3rd really expresses your vision and can negotiate new terms. It is a time to collaborate, not to dominate. So really focus on diplomacy and really surround yourself with people who support your growth. And if they are not really supporting your growth, it might be time to move on now. So let me know how it plays out for you, my dear Aqua, and I wish you the best of luck. Then we have Pisces, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You are gonna have this Mars and Leo coming back into your 6th house of health, work, habits, daily routines, scheduling, daily life. Your rhythm. So there's going to be this burst of energy into the 6th house to reorganize, rebuild, or like recommit to some kind of daily habit. So you might feel more motivated to really make a change in your schedule. It can be refining your daily habits. It can also mean improving your physical health. The 6th house is all about like the small actions that really support like the bigger things in life. And Mars here wants to light a fire under your habits. So it's a very good time to tackle projects at work, maybe start a new fitness schedule, take better care of your physical body. Mars and Leo here is going to have this boost in your pride and also pride in your work. It can make you more passionate about like showing up consistently, but you might also feel more reactive to stress. If you're having deadlines, there could be fights over that, or like this micromanagement could be more stressful than usual. So make sure you're like organizing your time in a way that feels empowering and not depleting. The trap here could be burnout or becoming overly critical of yourself and of others. So really avoid overextending your energy in the name of productivity. Instead, really focus on creating rituals that fuel your vitality. Mars in Leo wants you to show up like your life is your artwork, and build a structure that really supports your fire, not one that throws it out. Yeah, it's like conflict with co-workers could have happened here with the Mars retrograde. You've could have suffered from inflammation, even some minor accidents, or like having to reschedule are possible if you were like being too rushed, too overstressed, especially with like Pluto opposing in your 12th house. It is a great time to improve your mental and emotional well-being, and it needs to be done with structure. Mars is connected to your second house of money, so it urges you right now to work in the sixth house towards financial stability, second house, by really refining how you like spend your time and energy. So really, the focus is on sustainability. Really build those habits that support your body, your work, but also your peace. And that will be the most important fact for you, my dear Pisces. And ZPPT, I always have to laugh because I want to pronounce your name, but like it's never gonna work out for me. But you have a very cool name. So you're from Cape Town, logging in a bit late to the party, but well, you're arriving at the end of the party. So I'm glad you're still here with us today. And so yeah, Mars and Leo, it's gonna be a big switch. Are you ready to reclaim your spotlight? It is like your cosmic permission to like slip, to be bold, to get creative, and to really open your heart and lead with love. Don't get stuck in your pride. And yeah, drop your rising sign in the comments, and also what you're manifesting during this transit, and how you're gonna make the most use of this Leo magic. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for these weekly astrology updates. And I will see you back for a Mars opposite Pluto video, and that will probably happen on Sunday or Monday. So I'm looking forward to seeing you all back. And I'm wishing you a beautiful week, and be a bit more careful with the T-square between Mars, Pluto, and the Sun. Be more careful until the end of April, beginning of May, and then we will have this very big, beautiful forward momentum. Create these tension aspects into your favor. Use it as this immense willpower to really get clear on your goals and achieve them. So yeah, I wish you the best of luck, and I will see you back soon. Bye, beautiful people.